Good evening, and welcome to the Hope Collegiate Academy orientation for the 2021-2022 school year. My name is Mickey Curtis. I am the Dean of Secondary Programs here at UAHT, and I'm so excited not only to see some old faces, but some new faces as well. So welcome back. We're going to go ahead and get started. I want to be respectful of your time and let you out when I said I would. But first off, I want to introduce our interim chancellor, Miss Laura Clark. She's going to come and speak to you for just a few minutes.
Thank you. Well, welcome everyone. It is so good to see such a great crowd come out tonight for this. I know we have some upcoming seniors and juniors and our sophomores as well. But on behalf of the campus, welcome to our campus. I know a lot of you are out here probably for other things that are like movies and concerts. But it's nice to have, especially the new 10th grade group come in tonight. We're doing it a little different. In the past, I think we've kind of oriented them separately. And when we talk to our juniors and to our seniors, they tell us stuff, and we're learning as we go. And one of the things that we learned was they kind of wanted to collaborate with some of the older students so that they could get, some communication going, maybe get some tips on that junior class or on that senior class, and so we thought it would be good for us to all be together. Those of us who oversee the program in one way or another, we're kind of like the founders of the program. We've been involved for 4 years now. I can't believe it's been 4 years since we've been doing that. And we've learned a lot from the program. And so I hope you are very attentive tonight to some of the things that's being said, because what we want is for you to be successful. So you here tonight tells me a lot. It tells me that those of you who are juniors and seniors, it wasn't too bad, was it? You're back. And then it tells me for those that are going into the 10th grade year is that you want something more. You want to graduate high school with both your high school diploma and your college degree, which is wonderful. We're excited that you are here, and you're wanting to get a head start. And the way to get a head start is simply to get started, and so that's what tonight is all about. For those of you who are a little bit new, this is going to be a little different experience. If you know someone who's been in the program already, you visited with them, you can ask them, is this true? Is it going to be different from what I'm used to as far as school goes? And it will be different. And we're not here to tell you it's better or it's worse. It's different. And you're going to find some things that are better. And you're going to find some things that aren't as good. Maybe you're having to study a whole lot more. Maybe you're having to do homework. And maybe you're having to learn how to learn. I bet if I asked the 11th graders and the 12th graders, upcoming 12th graders, did you learn a lot about yourself in the program as far as how you have to learn, what you do to learn? They would probably say, yeah, I kind of figured that I had to learn that. Usually it's during math or during science. And so you're at an advantage in doing that, because you're getting to do that all in the comfort of your homes, your counselors, your friends, with our arms around you, because we're going to try to make sure you're successful. And so those of you who are coming into this program for your first year, we are here to make sure that we can do everything we can to help you be successful in the program. So the program does help you identify, how do I learn? How am I going to learn this? I've never really had to put my blood, sweat, and tears into studying, so what kind of learner am I? And you're going to learn a lot about that as you go along. This is also my opportunity to talk to parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, guardians, whoever you have with you here tonight. It's going to take you as well. Your student has to want the program and study and do homework and attend class. But sometimes as parents or as family, we can actually kind of get in the way of that. Sometimes we might overplan a weekend. Let's miss Friday, Saturday, Sunday and go somewhere, even though you have a math final on Monday. That's not helping your student. And sometimes that alone can make them start to fall behind. And when students fall behind, they get discouraged. And so we want to make sure that you are looking out for your student. Make sure you're not over-planning things. And remember, you're the adult. So make sure your student isn't over-planning for themselves as well, all right? Because it's a heavy load. There's a lot of studying and there's a lot of homework. And they want to stay on top of all that as they go along. So make sure you're kind of monitoring that. The other thing that we want to just address is to be mindful of our current health conditions. Last year, we had the pandemic. We continue to have this program. We thought a few months ago it was about to go away. It does not look like it is, so I think we're starting kind of back where we were a year ago. The group of students who were the most COVID positive on this campus were our high school students. And it wasn't because they caught it here. It's because they'd go home, go out, birthday parties, athletics, whatever, and then they were catching it. So be mindful. We don't do online, we're doing face-to-face classes, and we don't want your student to fall behind. So do whatever you can. Make sure they mask up. Make sure they social distance. Students, I know it may not seem cool, but healthy is cool, all right? I've had COVID. I've had the vaccine. I don't want to be the 20% that may get COVID. I got things to do this week. I got things to do next week. I can't be off. You can't miss school. So protect yourself, all right? Don't get sick if you can help it. Wash your hands and things like that. So we just want to make sure everyone has all the opportunities they can to succeed. And so we're going to try to help you and remind you of that. So, congratulations, students. Congratulations, seniors to be. Juniors, you finished the 10th grade year, which is always the worst year, so now you're sailing as real college students. And 10th graders, thank you for being courageous and deciding to do more than what you have to do. Deciding to be more and to be more prepared. And when you graduate high school, you're going to be 2 steps forward. So congratulations. Thank you all. Now I'll turn it over to Ms. Nikki.
All right, thank you, Chancellor Clark. Now I would like to introduce Dr. Crossley, who is the superintendent of the Hope Public Schools, to come and address you at this time.
All right. Can everyone hear me? Yes. If you can hear me, say you can hear me. Yes. Can you hear me? Yes. Don Patton, can you hear me? All right, good deal. So here, I am unequivocally so excited to be here today with you, and let me tell you why. When I thought about coming to Hope as superintendent, applying for the position, it wasn't just about the Collegiate Academy, but the Collegiate Academy signals something to me that should be the expectation. We should be expecting students to graduate and to be ready for the next step. We should expect a rigorous curriculum, teachers that care, and a program that is specific and that fits the needs of kids. Now, I know for a fact that we have that at Hope High School already. I've talked with Mr. Patton, with the programs. I know that we have that. But you guys are taking advantage of a program that specifically gets you ready for the next steps. To be honest with you, it's my first meeting. When I got on contract July 1, this was my first meeting with the college to make sure I understood this as well as the Career Center. To make sure we're doing our part for communication, to make sure everybody knows what's out there and available. Guys, you're trailblazers. Parents, you're trailblazers. Students, you're trailblazers. I want you to internalize that and know that and be proud of that. Because in 4 to 5 years' time, I'm telling you right now, it is my vision, it is my expectation that what's going on in the Collegiate Academy, there's more of it. Not only are there more students in my mind in 4 years, in the Collegiate Academy in the future, but more students will be receiving concurrent credit at the high school. More students will be ready in the Career Center to go into career tech with a skills certification to do something after high school with some sort of degree and credential. But you guys already know that. I'm preaching to the choir over here. Parents, you've invested. Parents, you've scrapped and fought through COVID and all kinds of other obstacles probably to see your student at this place. And parents, you know better than most that it didn't just happen. So raise your hand, and this table over here is going to, they'll shout me down probably, but raise your hand if you have ever heard the story of the bamboo tree. You know how a bamboo tree grows? You do. There we go. Got a couple. This is not my original creation, but I'm going to tell you a little story. So you can pray, you can water, you can sing to a bamboo tree. You can sing to it for year after year after year after year. 4 years in a row. It won't grow. Not even a little bit. It won't even give you the inclination that it's going to grow. But if you give up, you'll never get to that 5th year where it grows 90 feet in 1 year. Here's what I want to tell you. Some of you, your 10th graders, you're right there in the middle. You're not there yet. You're not done. You're just getting started. Don't give up. Parents, keep praying for them. Keep singing to them. Keep encouraging them. 11th graders, you're in that very huge year, that transition where those credits are starting to roll in. Don't give up. Stay with it. Seniors, don't get senioritis now. You're almost there where all the credits are coming to your doorstep, and the transfer scholarship and everything that comes with it is right there in front of you. Stay with it, because we are so close to that growth we want to see. And I'm telling you right now, you guys are the trailblazers. That next year's 10th grade group, the year after, will be looking up to you guys as an example of excellence. Don't take that for granted. Because you're not just doing this for you, and you're not just doing this for your parents, students. You're also doing it for the pride of Hope Public Schools. Because you're a part of something bigger than yourself, even if you don't realize it. There are chancellors who aren't in the room now who helped start this. There are superintendents who are not in the room right now who helped start this. We are standing on the shoulders of other people who have helped to get us here. So let's run that race. Let's finish it and be proud, because we're almost there. And I'm so proud of you. You don't know it yet, but I love each and every one of you. Parent, student, it doesn't matter. And we are so much better together. If you need me ever, my door is always open. Thank you for having me today. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Dr. Crossley. Now I want to introduce a few more important people in the audience that are a very important part to the Collegiate Academy. We have Hope High School Principal, Mr. Patton here. If you'll stand and raise your hands. We've got Miss Sally Nix, who is the Director of the Collegiate Academy. We've got one of our 10th grade teachers, which will also teach some of you guys in Comp 1. Mr. Thompson is here. And then another very important person in this is Miss Black. She is my administrative assistant. A lot of you will hear from her all the time, and she's at the back as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get through this PowerPoint presentation. We'll open up for questions at the end if any of you have any. But basically, I wanted to meet with you all to go over expectations, procedures, and how things are going to work for the Collegiate Academy. So, open house packets, we mailed these home. You should have received a concurrent form, handbook documents, information release form, an upward bound application, and a parental consent form to drive a ride in that packet. Those documents, if you brought them back today, that's great. If not, we'll take them the first week of school. I will go over the concurrent form here in just a little bit. The handbook documents, the signatures to those basically say you received your handbook, you understand the rules and procedures. The information release form, I'm going to go over that also here in just a little bit. The Upward Bound application is a program that we offer here on our campus that is in partnership with TRIO. And so it just basically provides students extra resources, extra tutoring. So if you are interested in that program, fill that out and bring it back as well. And then the parental consent form to drive a ride. So sometimes we have students who like to ride with each other back and forth to the high school campus, or drive whenever they're done. We just like to have this consent form on file. So if your student is going to be driving, fill that out. If your student might potentially ride with somebody later on down the road, go ahead and have that filled out, and it will cover you for the entire year. Picked up today, you should have picked up a student login sheet, and then those of you who are going to have an online course mixed in with your face-to-face classes, you should have picked up that guide to online courses. That is basically going to tell you everything you need to know on how to be successful in that online course, how to log in, how to troubleshoot any problems that you might have. So make sure you look through that. At the end of it, there is a document that needs to be signed and returned as well. So if you receive that, you are in at least one online course, and you need to read through that and make sure you understand the expectations. It's always good to go over the mission and vision to make sure everybody understands what we're working towards as we start this new school year. At the Hope Collegiate Academy, our mission is to provide students with a 3-year curriculum that allows them the opportunity to complete a high school diploma and an associate degree simultaneously. The associate degree that all of you guys are going to be working towards is that Associate of Arts transfer option. So basically, every class that you're going to be taking is a course that will transfer to a public 4-year university in the state of Arkansas, guaranteed to transfer, okay? So it is the transfer option, Associate of Arts. One thing you need to be thinking about, 10th graders, is start thinking about what you potentially would like to major in. Start thinking about a career, because just as Dr. Crossley and Chancellor Clark mentioned, you guys are going to be 2 steps ahead. So basically, when you transfer, you're going to be juniors. You've got to already start thinking about what you want to do. You're not going to have the time that a normal high school student who graduates high school and transfers to college has to figure that out. So parents, start discussing with your student, your child, about potential careers they're interested in. We will also have those discussions with them, but just understand that they are on a faster track, which is going to require them to start thinking about that and where they want to transfer to a lot quicker than a normal high school student has to think about. Our vision is to see that every student receives a strong educational foundation to continue towards a post-secondary degree by meeting students' educational, personal, social, and career development needs. And our motto is learning today, leading tomorrow. Now, the principles of participation, they were included in the handbook, and I'm not going to go over all of these. I'm just going to point out some of the main points that I think you guys need to be aware of. First off, looking at number 1, basically what it is telling you is that all courses will be taught on college level rigor. Whether you are taking a high school class or you are in all concurrent level courses, okay? So your high school 10th graders, those high school classes will be taught like college level courses. We call the 10th grade year the boot camp year. That is to prepare you for that 11th and 12th grade year where you are a full-time college student. So you need to be prepared for that rigor. Number 2, all Collegiate Academy students will not only follow the Hope Public School District policies, but you're also going to follow the college's policy. So you're held to a pretty high standard. You're not having to follow just one set of rules. You have to follow both. So you want to make sure that you are aware of that as well. Drop down to number 4. Basically what this is telling you is that we have an open campus. So 11th and 12th graders are allowed to come and go when they're done with classes. 10th graders, you will be with us the entire time during that boot camp year. But also you're going to be around traditional students. When you take a college course, whether you're in 10th grade, 11th grade, or 12th grade, you're going to be in that class with other traditional students. Those can be non-traditional students who are 30, 40 years old. They can be students who just graduated high school. So I want to make sure everybody understands that you're going to be blended in, and that is to help you prepare for that transition to that four-year university. Number 5, basically is saying that the director, which is Ms. Nix, if there's ever any questions, need meetings set up, parents, she is the first point of contact. Now, Ms. Nix is employed by the Hope Public School District, so she handles more of the high school end of things. I handle the college end of things. So when it comes to your degree plans, getting you set up for college classes, helping with that transfer, anything college related, I will help you with that. But she would still be the first point of contact to set up meetings with me, with you guys. Dropping down to number 7, this only pertains to 10th grade only. We will have parent-teacher conferences. Those will be scheduled meetings, and those are required of all 10th grade students and a parent to attend. Looking at number 8, we kind of discussed this earlier, but basically you're going to agree to abide by all Collegiate Academy at UAHT policies and procedures and any other college policies that we have. Number 9, I understand that completion of a high school graduation requirement does not guarantee completion of an associate's degree. Okay, the reason I say that is you have to pass your classes to work towards that associate's degree. One thing I'm going to talk about a little bit more is the grade that is passing in college is different than what you're used to in K through 12. A 70% is passing in college, where when you were in K through 12, you could drop down to a 60. So you'll have to keep that 70 or above. The reason for that is that's the only grade that will transfer to a four-year university, okay? So make sure you're staying at that 70% or above. Number 10, I understand that I will be expected to sign an agreement outlining my responsibility for all instructional materials, textbooks, and equipment issued to me. So the school district is very generous. They are going to provide all students with a Chromebook. You will also be provided with a calculator, and the school district provides school supplies, okay? So we do have a signed agreement for the equipment. And then number 11, which is also real important, is making sure your child attends regularly. Attendance is very important. We follow college policy when it comes to attendance, and that will be explained in the syllabus of each of your child's classes from 10th grade to 12th grade. So where at district level you might be able to miss quite a bit, that's not allowed here, okay? You need to make sure you schedule appointments outside of class time. 10th graders, you do have study hall times. I suggest you schedule your appointments during those times. 11th and 12th graders, most of you are done by 12:30, 1 o'clock. So obviously we're not scheduling appointments during your college level classes. And then number 13, I understand that the mission and purpose of the Collegiate Academy is to provide accelerated instruction and college level curriculum to motivated students. If I fail to make adequate progress on the path to graduating from high school on time, to meeting the attendance requirements or discipline requirements, I will be reassigned to the traditional campus. So you've got to pass your classes to get your credit. When you're in the Collegiate Academy, you're not only working on a high school diploma, but you're working on your college transcript. Your number one goal, our number one goal is for you to graduate high school. We don't ever want to take the place or get in the way of you completing that goal, okay? Another important thing is when you transfer, your high school GPA is just as important as your college GPA. You've got to have them both for transfer scholarships and acceptance into colleges. So if we ever look like you're causing more damage than helping yourself, at that point we would look at a transition back, because we do not want you to mess up your college transcript or to mess up your high school transcript. Now when you start, If you start and you say, this is just not for me, that is completely fine as well. If you start and it's just too much, let me know in the first 10 days and we can make that transition for you as well. Okay, another thing that you received is a calendar with the fall semester and spring semester. Because you are a part of the Collegiate Academy, you do follow the college calendar, but if you're in the 10th grade and you're taking some high school level courses, we will follow the high school calendar for those. So let's say the high school is out one day. If you're in a college level course and the college is open, you are expected to be at your college class, okay? College classes do not close down just because the district is out. The majority of the time, our schedules do line up. There's just a few situations where they don't. But if the college is open, you are expected to be in class. Start date is a week later, so there are some benefits to following the college calendar. We get out of school sooner, we start school later, and you probably will notice that on that calendar, but we will start Monday, August 23rd, 11th and 12th grade. If you are in any online classes, you will start also Monday, August 23rd with that online class. Make sure to check your schedule to see where your online class and who you have it with, and then make sure you check the academic calendar for online courses, which is also found in that online guide that I gave you. Once again, about the academic calendar, following college calendar for college courses. You also received the UAHT student login. This shows you how to log in to your email, how to log into your Blackboard, My UAHT, so you have that information. Email is the #1 way that we communicate with you guys, besides Remind. So you need to make sure you're going ahead and starting to log into your emails, because we will begin emailing you. The concurrent form was in your orientation packet. This only shows the college level courses that you're in. So if you're in some high school courses, it didn't show that, but this is an agreement between you and the college on completing those college courses. The information release form was also in that orientation packet that we mailed out. College policy is students have to give us permission to talk to you guys, parents, guardians. So if you want to be in the know of where your kids are grade-wise, you need to make sure your name is on this document and the first box is checked. Because what will happen is if that's not turned in, we do not have that information, we will let the parent know that, we can't disclose of this information because your child has not given us permission to do that, and then that'll be a fun conversation at home. So just make sure that your name is on there so that we can discuss that information with you. Okay, a little bit about grades. I've already kind of discussed this. Passing grades for college courses are 70% or higher. Each teacher is going to include their grading policy in the syllabus. Grading policies will be different than what you're used to K through 12. Your exams are going to be a larger percentage of your grade. If you're in comp, essays are a huge portion of your grade. If you do not finish one essay out of the 5, you will fail the class, okay? English 10 is set up that way. So you need to make sure that you look at the syllabus and understand how the grading procedures work. If a student drops below a 2.0 GPA, they are placed on academic probation. That is college policy there. And if that happens, we then have to transition them back to the high school. Grades will be placed on Blackboard. Parents, we do have a video that shows you how to work Blackboard. It is found on our website. We can email that out to you guys as well. And then if a student's grades drop below a 70%, they will be assigned a mandatory study hall during the day when they don't have class. 70% is the mark point of passing. You drop below that, you obviously need our assistance. So we're going to help you with that. And what that consists of is placing you in a mandatory study hall. where we can get tutoring. We can work on any missing assignments you have. You can rewatch any lectures. You can rework any problems. You can read your books, do your homework. So parents, that is something that we do with the students. So when you hear them come home upset because they're placed in mandatory study hall, that means they're failing, okay? And so there needs to be a discussion there about why are you failing your classes. Okay, grades and parent communication. If a student is struggling academically and it starts to be detrimental to their high school credits, once again, I've talked about this, they will be transitioned back to the high school. Your high school graduation is our #1 priority, okay? That's 10th through 12th grade. We never want to get in the way of you graduating high school. And then the director of the Collegiate Academy is the first point of contact. Looking at student behavior and discipline. Students will be expected to behave like college students. You are on a college campus. We do not have ISS. We do not have lunch detention. You are expected to act as adults, even though you're not, but we expect you to. We will follow college policy when it comes to discipline situations. If we do have a lot of discipline problems, and I'll tell you now, we have not ever had that, but if we do, we would look at a transition back based on our process through administration here on the college campus. Another thing, like I said before, you are held to a high standard because you have to follow college policy, but you also have to follow high school policy. So if you are on the high school campus, you are expected to follow the high school rules, the high school handbook. One thing that I know is a little different between the high school and the college that I really want to point out, because 10th through 12th grade, I have a large group of you guys who do go to the high school for either athletics or an extracurricular activity. Dress code, okay? Here on our college campus, we do not have a specific dress code, okay? We do expect you to cover everything, but we're not going to say your shorts have to be to your knees or anything like that, okay? We treat you like a college student. But on the other side of that, if you go to the high school for any reason during the day, you're going to have to follow their dress code policy, okay? Just because you're a Collegiate Academy student and spend the majority of your time on our campus and then just go over there for one period, you still have to abide by their dress code. Another thing is cell phones, okay? High school has different rules when it comes to cell phones. So if you're over on their campus, you still have to abide by their rules, okay? Same goes on our campus. Attendance, kind of talked about this a little bit, but we're going to follow college policy regarding attendance. Teachers set their own attendance policies. That's why it is so important to read the syllabus. One teacher might allow so many and the other teacher's not going to allow that many. So you need to make sure you look at that. One thing we teach students, 10th through 12th grade, is student responsibility. It is your responsibility as a student to contact your instructors. Not mine, not Miss Nix, and not Miss Black's, okay? So if you're going to miss and you know well in advance, you need to go ahead and email your instructor so that they know that. If you wake up one day and you're sick, once you wake up and you know you're not going to be there, go ahead and email them and let them know that you're not going to be there, okay? That way they know why you're not there. You can go ahead and get any missing work and you can stay caught up in your classes. If you do know you're going to miss, not only would I like you to email your instructors, but also email either myself, Miss Nix, or Miss Black, just to let us know, because it is our responsibility to keep track of you guys and to make sure that you're on our campus if you're supposed to be, and your safety is very important to us, okay? So if you're going to be absent, make sure you let us know as well. Student IDs. Every student will get a UAHT student ID, 10th grade. You don't have to worry about that right now. We will get you your student IDs your first week of classes. 11th and 12th grade, you can go ahead and start getting your student IDs, okay, starting tomorrow if you want to. You have to have a student ID to rent textbooks as well. So 11th and 12th graders, you need to go ahead and get that student ID and work on getting your textbooks. Student IDs are very important. Students have to have them on them every day. In our wing of the library, the Collegiate Academy wing, we have a sign-in, sign-out, check-in, check-out system that uses the students' IDs. When they arrive on campus, whether you are 10th through 12th grade, your first job is to walk in our building and check in. And then you go to classes. When you are done for the day and you are leaving, you come back to our building and you check out, okay? That is for safety reasons. If you are not checking in and checking out, we do not know where you are. So when mom calls and says, hey, my baby didn't make it home, we go through and we look and you never signed in, we're gonna say, well, they never made it on campus as far as we know. They didn't check in and they didn't check out, okay? That is also not only an expectation, but there are discipline consequences to students who will not sign in and sign out. So make sure that that is your first priority when you get on campus, and it is also a number one priority before you leave. Textbooks. 10th grade students, you will get your textbooks during the first week of school. We will take you to the bookstore, show you how to rent your textbooks so that you are prepared to do that your 11th and 12th grade year. 11th and 12th grade students, you can start renting textbooks during the time frame set by the bookstore here. So starting Wednesday, August 18th through that Friday. Remember, you have to have your IDs to rent your textbooks. Books will be charged to the students' accounts, okay? Sometimes our 10th graders panic when they see that amount. Parents panic. Nothing to panic about. The accounts will be cleared, okay? Students either have financial aid that covers it or the district picks up the cost on that. So don't worry about the amount on the receipt. But one thing you do need to remember is when textbooks, when it's time to return those, if you return them late, you will have to pay the late fee. The district does not pick up the cost because you were not responsible and turned it in on time, okay? So if you turn in a textbook late, just know that that will be something you will have to pick up. And textbooks have to be returned at the end of every semester. Parking stickers. Students will need a new parking sticker for this upcoming school year. You can get your parking stickers when you get your student IDs, 11th and 12th graders. 10th graders, if you're needing a parking sticker because you drive, we will help you with that in the first week of school. Parking stickers have to be placed on the back driver's side window on the outside. You have to have a driver's license and parking sticker to drive park on the college campus, okay? So students, don't come up here if you don't have a driver's license and start driving. You have to have that to get the parking sticker. And then 11th and 12th graders, as I stated, you can go ahead and start picking yours up. Accuplacer scores. In order for 10th grade students to continue on in the program to the 11th grade, they will need to have an ACT 19 in reading and English, okay? We do work with the students throughout their 10th grade year to help them and get them tested. I can tell you right now, we have never had to transition a student back because they were not able to lift up their scores, okay? So that's nothing to worry about, but you do need to take it seriously when you have to take those tests. You have to have that 19 in reading and English to start your 11th and 12th grade courses, and then you will have to have the 17 in math to be able to be placed in a co-rec model with your math class. But as I stated, you will be given opportunities to retake it if you need to. The FAFSA, it is filled out for financial aid. 11th and 12th graders have already completed this. They completed it in the spring semester. 10th graders, we will be scheduling appointments with you and your parents to complete the FAFSA. Students fill out the FAFSA to see if they qualify for financial aid. If they do, it does assist with the cost of their classes. What is not covered, the district picks up. Most of the time when people qualify for financial aid, It does not take all their money, and they end up with a refund check, which will be mailed to you. So that's another piece 10th grade parents to be looking towards. Syllabus and letters. This was something that you guys received at the table when you first walked in. 10th grade, you received a syllabus and letter for your English course, a biology letter from your biology instructor, and then if you're in Algebra 2, you also received a syllabus, a calendar, and a pretest, okay? That's the same for 11th grade. If you're in Algebra 2, that pretest is required on the first day of school, okay? So make sure you do have that completed and ready for Ms. Dillard on that first day. Make sure, parents and students, you look at the syllabus you have, you understand the expectations of your instructor. They go over everything in that when it comes to attendance, missing assignments, cell phones, homework assignments, grading policies. Please, please, please look over that, because a lot of times when there's complaints, it's answered in the syllabus. So you need to make sure that you read that and understand your teacher's policies. Looking at COVID, Ms. Clark talked about this a little bit. But if for some reason throughout this year, if a student is diagnosed with COVID, the first thing you do is email covid@uaht.edu. That is an email that is sent to the administration team on our college campus. They will then email you a response back on your next steps, okay? If you're experiencing symptoms, COVID-like symptoms, you will email that email as well to let them know. Just a reminder, it is your responsibility to get with your instructor about missing class due to illness, and also email either myself or Ms. Nix about any absences as well. We do recommend everyone to wear masks when inside in the public areas. Now, right now we have not received any other information on COVID policies and procedures. If we do gather any of that information, it will be shared with you. We do follow what the University of Arkansas system requires across the board for their system. So once we hear if anything changes, that information will be shared with you guys. And now I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Nix for about 2 or 3 more short slides, and then we'll open up for questions.
Just click it, put your own.
Hello, everyone. Okay, 11th graders. Does last year make a little more sense now that you've heard Ms. Curtis's presentation? Why we were the mean old step people, or, you know, whatever, that took your phone, and why you had to sign in and sign out, and why you had to tell us when you were sick what was going on so that we could determine how that was going to affect the whole room of people, right? So now it makes a little more sense, all the things that we asked you to do, kind of with blind faith, to trust us that we were not asking you to do anything that was out of the ordinary. So I just wanted to remind you of that, juniors, that we do have purpose behind everything that we do, every single thing. So 10th grade year is like a boot camp. I talk to the 10th graders a lot because I'm the person who is with you all day long, pretty much, and have lunch together every day and study halls together every day. And I'm the person for all of you that I email your parents your grades at report card time. Please do not wait until you get an email from me to look at your child's grades, because by then it may be too late. So just wanted to say those things. Okay, students will be expected to sign in and sign out each day, and Ms. Curtis has talked about why we want you to do that. Every single student, even if you're a senior or a junior and driving yourself, we still want that to happen. All students will get a Chromebook, graphing calculator, you're gonna love those this year, textbooks, and some school supplies. I'm not sure on the backpacks. We're still kind of iffy about that, so if you see one that's really blinged out that you really like, you know, it might be worth it. All right, and students who will not ride bus transportation need to be dropped off in front of the Rayford Library, and you're not allowed to enter the building until 7:40 in the morning there, okay? All right. Wrong way. Okay, I got it, that one doesn't have an arrow. 11,
Go back one.
go back one, okay,
There you go.
thank you. 10th graders, for just a second. 10th grade students will be required to turn your phones in to Miss Black at the beginning of each day, and they will be returned to you at the end of each day. Parents, breathe, guardians, it's okay. If you need to contact your student, we have this thing called a hardline office phone. We have office phones, and you can call and get a message to your child. But we do take the 10th graders' phones during the day so that they can focus on academics. Students will be provided with study halls unless they've chosen elective classes that replace a study hall, and that's 1st and 8th period usually, so that you'll have time to do your homework, meet with instructors, and receive tutoring. And that's a good thing, is to ask for tutoring when you feel like things are slipping a little bit. School will end at 3 o'clock for those who stay on campus. If you have a class at Hope High School, then your end time is at 3:20. That allows us to get people over to buses when they're needed. So don't leave football practice at 3 and think you're gonna get away with that. Attend mandatory study halls if your grades drop to below a 70, and students will have a weekly advisory where we check your grades every week. 11th and 12th grade, students will have advisory period, just like the 10th graders, where we check your grades every week, and the mandatory study hall that we all know and love so well from last year, right? We had a little higher grade number on that, so it hit a few more people. All right, food. If a student wants breakfast, they need to go to the high school in the morning and ride the bus to the college after breakfast. New rule at the high school this year, no standing around outside waiting for your first period class or for your breakfast. Come on in the MAC foyer, that's where the buses drop off. Come in and they're gonna take your temperature and do the COVID screening, and then you go to the cafeteria for breakfast, or you can wait in the foyer for your bus to come. And the bus is going to pick you up at that same bus line right beside the gym. So that's a new thing this year, is for the pickup bus to get you over here for first period or your 8 o'clock class to pick you up there. That's if you're a bus rider. Lunches will be provided by the district. Ms. Black works with the students very nicely to take your lunch orders every day. Please be nice and answer her when she asks you what you would like for lunch, so she doesn't have to feed a family of 59 kids and pick what you eat. 10th grade, in the spring semester, you will be able to go to the Brick House, which is on campus, to get lunch, but you'll need to bring your own money. 11th grade students are allowed to leave for lunch or go to the Brick House, but they are not allowed to be late for their next class after lunch. Students are also allowed to bring your own lunch. Signing in and out, We've said this at least 3 times. That's because it's so important. Every student has to sign in and out with your ID. I usually wear mine around my neck every morning when you arrive on campus and before you leave, even if you're driving yourself. If a student's checking out early, this is important, they will need to sign out with their student ID and have permission from a parent in one of these forms. A phone call from the parent or guardian to Ms. Black, or the parent or guardian can come to Ms. Black's office and sign you out, or a letter from the parent or guardian to Ms. Black. One of those 3 things has to happen if you're going to leave early. No student is allowed to leave early without first letting Ms. Black know that they are leaving. Okay, bus transportation. No? Yeah? No? There we go. If a student rides a bus, you'll be dropped off at the high school in the morning. You must enter the building immediately, the MAC foyer, to have your temperature taken, and then wait in the MAC foyer or the cafeteria until time to catch your bus. No standing around outside. Buses will be located in the bus drive next to the gym, the bus for you to come over here. In the evening, a bus will pick up bus riders on this campus and carry you over to the high school for you to catch your bus home. If students have a class first period at the high school, they will catch a bus to the college after first period. And we have these buses set up, so you don't really have to like stand out and literally catch it. If students have a 7th period class at the high school, then you will ride the bus and go straight to class after you arrive at the high school. You don't have to wait in the foyer for someone to come get you, take your temperature. They'll do that in the classroom. If students have an 8th period class at the high school and don't ride the bus, they will have to be picked up by their parent or guardian at the high school. That's after 8th period, at the end of the day. You get picked up there, you don't come back over here. The following forms or documents need to be signed and returned by Friday, August 27th. And that's all the forms that we mailed to you. And if there's anyone in here that didn't pick up the packet that Ms. Curtis was talking about back there with your t-shirt, you need to see Ms. Black at the back. Or if you did not get your t-shirt, you need to see Ms. Black at the back. And Student's Guide to Online Courses for 11th and 12th graders was also back there.
All right, so I know the bus transportation might feel a little overwhelming, but 10th graders, we are going to get you where you need to be, okay? We'll make sure you catch the bus when you need to catch the bus, and we'll make sure that you get home when you need to get home. Guys, I am sorry about that sun that is hitting some of y'all in the eyes. I thought maybe you're sleeping, but you can't open your eyes. So, contact information, here is this if you ever need us for anything. My contact information is up there, email, phone number, so is Miss Nix's and Miss Black's. That covers everything that we have for you guys, but I do want to open up for any questions if anybody has any. One quick thing, 10th graders, your schedules, they were sent to you in your orientation packet. If you are missing a class that you want to have at the high school, an extracurricular or any sports, you need to get with Miss Nix after this if it was not on your schedule and let her know, and we will get that fixed, okay, if anything looks incorrect there. 11th and 12th graders, your schedules have been the same since spring semester when I met with you. But if there's any issues with that, you can meet with me. But before we dismiss, I wanted to open up to see if anybody has any questions at all. Anybody got any? All right, guys, we are so, oh, you got one?
Oh, this is just a question, and it's probably not a big question, but if they leave for lunch, Do they have to check in and out when they leave for lunch and when they come back?
Yes, anytime a student leaves campus, they need to check out using their IDs, okay? And then you'll need to sign back in for safety measures. Anybody else have any questions at all? Okay, guys, if you think of anything after you leave here, please email me and I will get with you as soon as possible to answer those questions. We look forward to having you guys on the first day of school. Juniors and seniors, make sure to get your student IDs, your parking stickers, and go ahead and rent your textbooks. Seniors, start looking for an email from me about a transfer document to start looking at your transfer process, applying to colleges, applying for scholarships. That's going to happen pretty quick in September, okay? Yes, Ms. Faye.
I was just wondering about students that are in athletics. I know they'll be there last period, but what about when they have to leave early for off-campus football games or baseball games or things like that? How is that going to affect their classes that they have over here?
That is a good question. So we do have a bunch of students who participate in athletics and extracurricular activities at the high school. So if you know that you're going to have a football game, which you should know that because the schedule's already out, the coach should let you know when you will need to be at the high school. We will make sure a bus is there to pick up any students who do not drive themselves. You will need to make sure you get with your instructors, okay? That will be an excused absence. But it will be your responsibility to contact your instructors and to make up any missing assignments that you have. So if you're in athletics or extracurricular activities, you need to make sure you communicate with your instructors, and then you also get to where you need to be over at the high school, and if you need bus transportation, just let us know and we'll make sure you have that. Does anybody else have any questions? All right, guys, we look forward to seeing you on Monday, August 23rd. Y'all have a good rest of your summer.